Bob Cairns, and I suffer from quite severe emphysema, and I have been at the mercy of the care system and care structure within this wonderful city of Edinburgh. And although in parts it has been very good, there are one or two wee items that, well, defy logic in many ways, and if nothing else, I'm logical. Let's start at the beginning. The health system. I was diagnosed with severe emphysema some 4 years ago, and I have suffered the first couple of years I suffered because I wasn't aware of the results, the repercussions of this disease. But I very quickly learned over that first couple of years that I don't allow myself to get infections of any kind or whatever. And up until that point I was reasonably able to get myself up and down stairs and whatnot with a bit of struggle. However, I was then, after the variety of infections that I had over that first 2 years, the third year I managed to keep out with the whole thing. I spent some time having problems, but I managed to stay out of hospitals and out of infections and stuff. The fourth year though, I inadvertently run out of one of my inhalers over a long weekend, a holiday weekend, and it meant in the space of a week I didn't have that inhaler, and as a result of that an infection got into my system, and it took 3-4 weeks nearly to get that under control of any kind. I first of all had a week of antibiotics and steroids, and the fact I'd had the steroids, which are wonderful things, they masked the fact that the antibiotics weren't working. With the net result, I still had the infection. I then had another week of antibiotics and steroids, and again the steroids masked the fact that the antibiotics didn't work again. So then I got a third week of antibiotics and steroids, and I finally got on top of the problem. This was in the lead up to Christmas last year, and I was told then I would need to start getting some help because it was impossible for me to get up and down the stairs. It was impossible for me to even move about successfully in the house. And then the fun started with the home health system. Come trooping in with a wee bottle of oxygen and maybe salbutamol, and 10 minutes, sorted. Great. Now if I'm daft enough, they will then tell me, oh, we need to take you to the hospital. And if I'm daft enough, I'll listen to them. But I've learned better now, where the two guys take you up, or guy and lady, or two ladies or whatever, the ambulance personnel, we shall say, hump you down into the back of their van and whisk you ceremoniously up to the factory over the hill, the ERI. And they hand you over to the kindly care of the nurses and doctors and whatnot in the A&E department. And they keep you for 4 hours. And then if they don't have beds, which this time of year, well, not always necessarily there. So they are faced with the dilemma after 4 hours. Do they keep you in or do they spit you out? Now if there's no beds, they can't keep you in. Because they can't just lay and flare, that would be untidy, it would get in the road with the cleaners. Anyway, so they spit you back out. They take you to the door of the A&E department and they say, go on then son, get yourself in. Oh dear, I've got a flight of stairs that would make Edmund Hillary blush to tackle when I get back. And therefore, by the time the taxi driver drops me at the bottom of the stairs and I get my little self up the stairs and back in here, I am back to where I started when the ambulance men came. And that sort of doesn't make any kind of sense to me. I've been in the midst of a crisis 4 hours before, and all of a sudden I'm fit enough to tackle a flight of stairs I was having problems even looking at to go down when I went in. Now if I'm going for an x-ray or some guy to have a look at my tonsils or in my ears or something like that, then they'll sort me an ambulance there and back, no problem, no problem. And the journey day and everything. But if I get taken in there in crisis, getting home, well, that's my problem. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. However, that aside, in general the health service is absolutely wonderful. They do their level best, I must admit. And there are one or two in particular who go that extra mile to make sure things are okay. I am not decrying anyone in the health service whatsoever. It is not their fault. It is the system they try and run. But the government will tell you it's all moulded to the patient, what the patient's requirements are. Now it has struck me that every time these ambulance men come up here, the common factor that they all tend to do is get the oxygen bottle out and on my face, 10 minutes, sorted. So the logic puts it to me that, well, if I had the availability of oxygen here, then I would save the time and effort of 3 highly skilled personnel, usually a paramedic and then 2 ambulance people. Now these are all very precious and highly skilled people when the time is needed, when their services are needed. Now I'm dragging 3 of them out of active duty, active service to give me oxygen that'll take them all of maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes to administer, and then it'll take them another 20 to 25 minutes to fill in the bloody paperwork. So I've tied them up for an hour or more, when if I had access to some oxygen here, I wouldn't need to phone them in the first place. Right, why can't I have oxygen here? Because there's people that smoke in here regularly, and there's a gas-fired central heating system. Now the bottle of oxygen that the NHS would give you would be about a kilogram, and in this volume of air it would make candles burn brighter maybe. Oxygen is an inert gas. It assists combustion, but it does not burn of its own accord. So, I really don't see where the problem might lie. We're making a flame grow a wee bit brighter. However, so be it.